What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including has the WWE Hacker been revealed, whether Raw's ratings went up or down, a change to the NXT format, is a Mania title match in jeopardy, opponent CM Punk would step back into the ring for, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first bit of news as we look at WWE's Hacker and who's behind it. Now, last night on WWE's official Twitter account, there was some strange activity going on. WWE's Twitter profile was blacked out and the description read, "Expose, watching." They then tweeted, "The truth will be heard," but it was inserted upside down. Many were confused and the tweet was quickly deleted. However, did WWE give away who was behind this hack? As just after this occurred, Matt Hardy tweeted, "The truth will be heard, Damascus." Further speculation was fueled when one user noticed that the letters M and H were in capitals, backing the idea further that it could be Hardy. Now, as we all know by now, Matt Hardy did not re-sign with the WWE and is currently a free agent. But perhaps this was all a ruse to reinvent himself, this being his second coming, and Hardy has once again re-signed with the company. Now, there still could be the possibility he is the Exalted One in AEW, which could be revealed tonight, but at this point, it could be anybody. Let's hope Hardy hasn't re-signed with the WWE, as they've already proved they can't do anything with him. The Woken One's character ship has already sailed, so what could be left? Next up, we look at Raw's ratings and whether they went up or down. Raw's 3-hour empty arena show featured two big guests, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. However, with no fans present to cheer them, how were the ratings affected? And we may never know for sure, but we do know the ratings were up. PW Insider's Dave Shearer is reporting the 9th March edition of Raw brought in 2.335 million overnight viewers, up from last week's 2.163 million overnight viewers. Looking at the table, there was a jump in Hour 2's ratings and the usual drop in Hour 3. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online's Dave Meltzer noted, "It was the best number for the show since February 17th and up 8% from last week. Raw still took the top 3 spots in the 18 to 49 with a 0.76 average, with no cable news show beating 0.55. As we have noted as of late, nothing seems to help Raw's third hour, not even an appearance by Stone Cold Steve Austin. While it's unlikely the WWE will ever drop its third hour of Raw, after all the USA Network asked the WWE to add the third hour, it could be that 3 hours of wrestling is just too much for some fans, hence the regular drop in Hour 3. What do you guys think? Let us know in your comments down below. Next up, a change to NXT's format. With wrestling promotions either cancelling shows or moving them to empty arenas, fans are wondering what other changes might be in the works. Turns out that the 18th March NXT is going to be different than past shows. PW Insider's Mike Johnson contacted the WWE about the rumours the show would not feature any live matches and was told, "Tomorrow night's NXT will air as regularly scheduled in a modified format with elements ranging from in-depth character profiles and story breakdowns, as well as never-before-seen interviews and content. With Dynamite running a show with matches, how will NXT fare in the ratings? The last time NXT ran a best-of show, it lost the momentum it had gained against Dynamite and it hasn't recovered since." Next up is a Mania title match in jeopardy. At this point, it's safe to say that anything could change when it comes to WrestleMania 36, whether it's the show taking place at the WWE Performance Center, it taking place somewhere else, or it not taking place at all, although the latter seems unlikely. During a recent episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about the speculation that WWE may get rid of some of the show's matches, as there's concern whether the fans will want to watch 6 to 7 hours of matches in an empty arena. We already talked about Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes tweeting that prior to all the changes, a mixed tag match was scheduled for WrestleMania, as Heavy Machinery and Mandy Rose vs Ziggler Roode and Sonya Deville may not happen. One other possible casualty could be a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, a title that's not been defended much ever since its inception at 2019's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Rumor has it the current champs, the Kabuki Warriors, were going to face Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and Beth Phoenix and Natalya in a triple threat match. That may not happen now, and if it doesn't, it just shows how meaningless the title is. Perhaps they'll just fit it on Raw somewhere down the line. Next up, opponent CM Punk would step back into the ring for. While CM Punk has said he's willing to step back into the ring if the money is right, the straight-edge superstar doesn't seem to be in a hurry. During an appearance on Swing and Misses, Punk discussed who he might step out of retirement to face. As far as people that I've worked with before, if there was a clean slate, if the money was right, I think a guy like Daniel Bryan, I would listen to your idea. If you said John Cena, I'd probably listen to your idea. Rey Mysterio, I would listen to your idea. For people I haven't ever wrestled before, I think Will Ospreay, I would listen to your idea. Punk has shown himself to be particular about the way he does business, reportedly turning down AEW's offers because they contacted him by a text message. Punk went on to say why he hasn't stepped back into the ring yet. There's lots of moving parts, I'm busy doing other stuff and nobody has found the right combination of ways to approach me. It's not all up to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to the people who actually run the company. Punk is busy not only contributing to WWE backstage, but working on a budding film career. At this point in his life, he would need the timing and the money to be right to step back into the squared circle. Next up, is the Hall of Fame being moved to SummerSlam? And when and where would the WWE hold its induction ceremony for its 2020 Hall of Fame class? One person who claims to have the answer is Georgia Smith, the daughter of 2020 inductee the British Bulldog. She tweeted, "Just a heads up, I've spoken with WWE and they are postponing the Hall of Fame for a later date and are hoping to do it for SummerSlam, which would be appropriate for my dad. Thanks again for all your support. Let's stay safe out there." Now there is the idea that WWE is postponing Wrestlemania to June, but perhaps it would be just better to scrap it all together and just put all their effort into this year's SummerSlam. They could make it the biggest ever. What do you guys think? Should that be the way WWE should do it? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Scott Steiner is back in action. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner had one serious health scare, collapsing at an indie show and being rushed to the hospital for a heart procedure. However, Steiner is already making public appearances and showed up at New Era Wrestling last weekend. Steiner thanked his fans for their support and told the crowd he had no recollection of what happened the night he came out to the ring, walking back and passing out. He then shared a story about what the doctor told him after the surgery, and his reply was, "As I was sitting in the hospital bed, the doctor came up to me and said, 'The procedure that happened to you, normally you only have 80% chance of winning, of getting out of bed, of living.' I said, 'Doc, every time I step into the ring I have a 140 and 2/3 chance of winning. What do you think my chances are of jumping out of this bed?' Wrestling's genetic freak and mathematician doesn't seem to let anything slow him down for too long." Next up, Jim Ross speculates on Hardys in AEW. Again, with Matt being a free agent, it is possible fans could see not only Matt in All Elite Wrestling, but brother Jeff when his current WWE contract expires. AEW announcer Jim Ross recently talked about the Hardys on his Grillin' JR podcast, first praising Matt's skills and what he could bring to AEW.
But Matt Hardy's another guy that, from his intellect to his character, his integrity, and his still existing in-ring skills, can help any wrestling company, including the one that I work for at AEW. So I wish him not only the best, but...
Ross also praised Jeff's work, commenting on how much he has to offer any company he works for when he's sober. As for Matt and Jeff at AEW, Ross elaborated,
"You know, if you get Jeff of Matt, then maybe someday you get Jeff, who knows? But nonetheless, the Hardy Boys grew up in WWE, and now they're different roads. It's going to be interesting to see how Matt and Jeff coexist in their lives, Conrad, being on separate brands, separate teams, actually."
For now, fans will have to see where Matt goes, as Jeff likely has at least another year on his contract due to the time he's been off recovering from his last injury. Next up, Jerry the King Lawler comments on the current health crisis. While Jerry the King Lawler has been dismissive of the severity of the current health crisis, he does recognize how much it's affected society. Recently, the King spoke to Memphis's ABC24 saying, "I really don't know what to think about this. I've been in the wrestling business for nearly 50 years and traveled and seen just about everything, but I've never seen anything like this so far. I think all you have to do is ask anyone who sat on a Sunday with no sports on television. It was just unbelievable." Fans disappointed that there are no sports on seems to be a common refrain, and judging by the ratings, wrestling fans are happy the WWE is still putting on its weekly television, albeit in a modified format. He agrees that having wrestling on is beneficial. I think that it's a good diversion. It gives people something to take their mind off with all this bad news. And our final story in this video, Mick Foley updates fans on daughter Noelle. Mick Foley's daughter Noelle was training to become a wrestler, but the training has been put on hold due to a concussion she suffered. Recently, Foley talked to Wrestling Inc. about Noelle's situation, explaining she suffered a concussion on a roller coaster. She grew up loving roller coasters, but this one just rattled her. I hoped it would go away like most do, especially if you haven't had a succession of head injuries, but this one has been difficult for her to overcome and she's gonna see specialists. She's looking for answers and it's been a tough year for her. We wish Noelle a fast and full recovery. But there you have it guys, the latest wrestling news and rumors you need to know. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.